So I shaved my beard and I realized that I look like a freaking 15-year-old. What's up, you guys? This is One Classic Gamer here, and I just sat down and watched episode 1 and 2 of season 3 of Better Call Saul because I actually missed the premiere last week. I knew it was premiering, but I was busy, so I missed it. But I caught it alongside with the second episode, and I've seen both of them now. And I'm going to be reviewing it because let me just get this out of the way right now. I love Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is one of my favorite TV shows, along with a lot of other people. And Better Call Saul is no different. Better Call Saul is an amazing TV show. I have been with this show since season 1. And I'm so excited for this season because this seems like it's going to be the season where the shit really goes down. Now I'm just gonna warn you, you guys, if you have not seen the first 2 episodes, I'm gonna be spoiling them in this video. That's how I'm going to be doing uh, these reviews. This is gonna be like a combo review. I'm just gonna talk about the first episode first and then the second episode. But yeah, this season is gonna be where the shit really goes down. I mean, they really set it up. They've been setting it up for the past 2 seasons, with Jimmy and him and his brother, this dispute they've been going through. But it really kind of started in season 2, because you had Jimmy who joined Davis and Maine, the Davis and Maine law firm, and then what ended up happening is he ran a commercial. I watched all the first 2 seasons again before I watched this one. He created like a fake commercial to try and get more people for the Sandpiper case that they were working on, and in turn his boss did not like that because he released that commercial without consent. So therefore Kim ended up getting punished for that, and she went through all this hard work, but she actually ended up winning Mesa Verde, which is like a bank in Albuquerque, apparently, a very famous bank. And let's just say she scored a really big case. And what happened is she decided to leave HHM, and she tried to take Mesa Verde with her. But what ended up happening was Howard got on that and was like, "No, I'm better than Kim. You should choose us." So what Jimmy did is he went and he switched the addresses on the case, and he basically sabotaged Chuck so that Mesa Verde would go back over and choose Kim over HHM because he cares about Kim, and that's basically what happened. And at the very, very end of season 2, if you've seen season 2, Chuck decided to record the conversation between him and Jimmy, where Jimmy basically confessed to Chuck that he switched the addresses, which is a felony, a huge felony. And now it's season 3, we're 2 episodes in, and oh my god, Chuck is using this tape against Jimmy hardcore. So before I get to what I just saw, because believe me, I want to talk about episode 2 right now, but this is a combo review, so I'm going to start off with episode 1 here. Episode 1 starts off with the same, like, weird thing they've been showing us. It's not really weird, but the thing they've been showing us for the past 3 seasons in the premiere. They show us what I'm assuming is the life that Jimmy is living after the events of Breaking Bad. He's like working at a Cinnabon in the mall, and he hates his life. What I noticed though is that, upon watching the seasons through up to this one, because I'm a very big fan of Better Call Saul, and what I've noticed is that every time we see these flashbacks, they're all different, but they get crazier and crazier in a way. With the first one, it was sort of just him living his life. making Cinnabons and all that, and then taking a look at the tapes. The second one was him closing at work, and he gets locked in like the garbage room, and he goes up to the door that says if you push the emergency siren will sound. This show has a lot of, as smart as this is a very intelligent show. It also has a lot of symbolism in it too, and I love it. Um, that's what I'm saying. If you have not seen the show, you should watch it because you probably have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm probably boring you guys out of your minds, but for those of you who have seen this show, um, it's such a smart show, and I love it. Like there's no other show like out there like this. But the second season, it was kind of him deciding, okay, is he gonna sound the alarm or not, or and then he ended up just waiting for the janitor to open up the door and let him out. Um, this season's flashback to the Cinnabon is basically he's just having lunch at the mall, and this guy just runs up who has presumably stolen something. He looks suspicious to Jimmy, and he goes hiding in like the photo booth. What are those things called? Those things where you go in there and you take photos of yourself and stuff. Basically, the cops come and like, did you see a guy? And I forgot what the wording was. Did you see a guy, suspicious looking guy? And he points to the photo booth, and they arrest the guy. And as the guy's walking off, Jimmy just bolts up. It's like, get a lawyer. Don't say shit. Get a lawyer. So I've noticed that these flashbacks, they're getting progressively, I guess, I don't know. I might be overthinking this. I am. I like to overanalyze this show, but they seem to be getting a little crazier because with each one, you could see Jimmy really struggling to just live his normal life that he has now, or go back to that old life of being a pretty dirty lawyer. Now let's be honest. Better Call Saul and Better Call Saul, Jimmy, he's an awesome character. But he's a dirty lawyer. He does some really fucked up stuff, like changing the addresses as his brother told him is a felony, and he really we're only 2 episodes in. He's really paying for that right now. He's really paying for that. Chuck is such an asshole. He is such an asshole. He has hired private investigators. He's told Howard about the tape, and he's already planning to put his own brother behind bars for switching the addresses and screwing him. It is committing a felony, but if that was my brother, like, I would not do that. Like, Chuck is such a sinister character. Like, this season by far has just a way more sinister, not like, it's not really on the nose, but it's like, it has a more sinister feel to it. Like, I don't know if sinister is the right way, but it has more of that feel. Like, you just know that shit's going to go down in this season. Um, so the first episode is really Chuck uh, reacting to that. Ernesto finds out about the tape, and Chuck is like, "You cannot tell anyone about it. You cannot. We have a confidentiality agreement over at HHM. If you tell anyone that you heard this tape, you're going to be in trouble." He basically threatens him. That happens, and then we got some really exciting stuff with Mike too. The stuff with Mike is so exciting to me. It's been getting more and more exciting with each season, and this is probably the most exciting stuff. He he's so smart too. Like he basically strips his car, and he finds that there was a tracker placed inside the gas cap. And he goes out. I'm not really quite sure what he does. He goes out, he buys another one of those trackers, or he gets another one of those trackers. He replaces the battery, and he wears out the other battery. He replaces that battery, puts it back in his car. He waits, and the person comes up, grabs the gas cap with the battery in it, and drives off. And that happens. basically the first episode was was Chuck reacting, saying what he's gonna do to Jimmy, which he's clearly going forward with the plan on suing Jimmy and putting him behind bars. He's going forward with that, and we got some really exciting stuff with Mike. But episode two, man, I'm telling you right now, episode two is when it really got good. Episode two, um, we get to see first off, we get to see Gus from Breaking Bad, and when I saw him, I was just like, oh, like I was so excited because they kind of it's so great the way they do it. Like Vince Gilligan, the writer and director or creator of Breaking Bad, in this, he has a very subtle way. He's not really over the top or anything like that. I mean, you don't fucking see Gus like bursting out of like with like dramatic music and shit. Nothing like that happens. I mean, he has a very subtle. He's very subtle and realistic, and his shows are so well written. But when you first see Gus, he's doing his thing. He's in the background, cleaning up tables, like mopping up floors. You're looking at this all blurry because it's focused on Jimmy, who's watching the guy that Mike is following. Mike got Jimmy involved to try and see if he can figure it out what the deal is, and you're looking in the background, it's like, is that Gus? Is that Gus? But it's focused on Jimmy, and then the guy dumps his shit in the trash, and Jimmy goes up and decides to try and go through the trash to see if he can find anything, and then Gus comes up and he's like, "Can I help you?" And it was great. It was great. If you've seen Breaking Bad and you love Breaking Bad like I do, and you've seen the show like when they first showed Gus, I was just like, yes. I was like, they brought Gus in. They brought Gus in. It was so great. And then Jimmy's all like, Mike, can I help you out? I can help you out, man. And Mike's like, no, I don't need your help. And he's like, but I got your back. So I'll keep that in mind. And so Mike spends the next like day. Mike is determined to figure out who prevented him from killing Hector in the last season. He is determined. Like he is waiting, watching, following people. He's doing crazy shit. And Mike's thing in episode two, because we're on to episode two now, ends with him basically finding the gas cap in the middle of the road. And in the preview for the next episode, it looks like we're gonna get to see like a confrontation between him and Gus, and I'm interested to see. I'm very interested to see where that goes because basically, in Breaking Bad, Mike actually, I don't think he did work for Gus. I think, yeah, he did work for Gus. So I'm interested to see where it goes. That stuff is so exciting, but the stuff with the Jimmy and Chuck is insane because Chuck has hired a private fucking investigator. He's got Howard like a 40, 50-year-old dude, like parking all the way across the street, hopping over fences, like being like subtle and all that. And yeah, it just that shit's going on. Like he wants to ruin his brother for what he did. And it's just insane because I mean, Jimmy's not a good he's not a good character. Like he's not a good guy, and like if you look at it, but he's such a good character. Like in the show, like you don't want to see him suffer these consequences. And so Ernesto decides to go and tell Kim about it, and Kim's like, "What happened?" And he basically he says, "I confessed to Chuck," and she's like, "There's a tape recording. He has you on tape," and Jimmy, like she's asking him like later on that day, like she's his lawyer basically. They've got their own firm going on, and just the two of them. And then Jimmy is he you can just tell that he's affected by it. He's like, my brother made a tape recording of me confessing to a felony, and you could see it in his face, like in his expression, like that. He knows that Chuck is going to use that against him to put him behind bars. And so it's affecting him. And Kim's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then we get just, oh my god, this is the best scene in Better Call Saul by far. Jimmy loses his shit. He's like, fuck this. He goes over to Chuck's place. He's like banging on the door. He's like, Chuck, open the door. And like Chuck's like, go away, Jimmy. And he fucking kicks the door down. He goes in there. He grabs the tape out of the desk and is like, you made a tape, you fucking asshole. And he's like, he didn't say fuck because it's TV, but he rips up the tape. He loses his shit. And then Howard comes out with the private investigator, and then Chuck is like, Howard, you guys are witnesses, and that's when Jimmy is just like, oh fuck, you know, maybe I shouldn't have lost my shit because I realize now I just broke into my brother's house, and vandalized his property and destroyed evidence. So man, this season is you could tell, I can just tell you right now, this season's gonna be great. It's gonna be it's sad, but it seems like it's gonna be a downward spiral for Jimmy because he's starting to suffer the consequences he's made. Even the Air Force dude, like when he was making his own commercial, he trespassed onto a U.S. airbase and got footage of an airplane. He basically lied to the guy, and that guy is basically threatening him and saying, if you don't take that commercial off the air, I'm gonna sue you. We're gonna get on you about that. Like Jimmy is really starting to suffer the consequences now, and I really feel bad for him. I really do, because I love Jimmy. Like I love his character so much. I mean, like I said, realistically, he's not a good character. He's kind of an anti-hero. He's kind of like Bryan Cranston was in Breaking Bad. He's kind of like Walter. He's not really a good guy. He's a lawyer, but he makes bad decisions. He operates sort of outside of the law. But man, just by far these first two episodes have been amazing, and I'm so pumped for this season. I'm telling you guys right now, like honestly though, like I wasn't even like when season 2 ended, I kind of forgot about Better Call Saul a little bit because what I love so much about this show is that they don't release it like a year after the first season. Like if they need to take more time to make the next season, they are going to take more time to make the next season. And it feels like they've spent a little bit longer on this season before releasing it. And so therefore I've kind of like not lost interest but kind of forgotten about Better Call Saul. And I saw the promotional material and I was like, oh shit, Gus. But then other than that, I was like, yeah. And then I saw these episodes and it just got me so pumped for this season. So overall, by far, I mean, Vince Gilligan, he's one of my favorite script. I don't know if he writes the scripts. He's one of my favorite TV writers and creators out there right now. And these first two episodes get 10 out of 10s from me because I loved both of them, and I'm so pumped for this season. Just wow. So hopefully they continue with this momentum. I know they will, because there hasn't been a single episode of Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul that has ever disappointed me. Vince Gilligan is a master at what he does, and I cannot wait to see where this season goes. So, yeah, those are my raw thoughts and impressions on Better Call Saul Season 3 by far. I'm thinking about reviewing the episodes from here on out. Actually, I'm going to review the episodes from here on out because I'm done watching The Walking Dead, and I need a new show to watch, and this is a perfect stand-in for The Walking Dead. So, if you guys enjoyed this, and you guys watch Better Call Saul and you enjoy this, please comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace.